Good morning, everybody. Welcome to the Hardcore Mortgage Podcast. Today is Wednesday, June 2nd, 2021. And we have an awesome podcast for you, everybody. We have our regular panel, Lisa Lawson. Hi, Lisa.
Good morning, everybody.
John Kolb, the man, the myth, the legend, got his hair cut. You look good, John.
Got them all cut today, buddy. Yeah. Thank you, everyone.
You're looking good and follically challenged, Mr. Harvey Freed, the host with the most, the Hardcore Mortgage Real Estate Business Show, heard every Saturday morning on 97.1 for the last almost 21 years. Harvey Freed, good morning.
Harry, thank you. I've been buffing my head all morning long.
Oh, I can't even get into that. I know it's a podcast, but we'll just gloss right over that. And our special guest today is none only than Jacques Gagnon, Keller Williams, Lakeside. Jacques, you are a frequent guest on our radio show and our podcast. How are you, my man?
I'm doing well. It's good to see everybody again. I'm looking forward to today and again on Saturday on 97 FM.
Yeah, from 9 to 10, you'll be on with Lisa and Harvey and the whole crew. You'll be dispensing awesome advice, Jacques. And let's get right into it right now, right? Of course, the home purchase market is on fire right now. Your experiences, where do you see it going? And I'm going to get out a little bit of the statistical information later on in the show, but tell us, what do you got going?
So as a buyer out there, you cannot fall in love. There's going to be some heartbreak. There's going to be some sorrow. Harvey, I saw one of your posts the other day about having a plan with your agent before. Right now, the competition is high. The inventory is low. Have a plan before you go into place, and just know you may not find the right shoe the first time you walk into the store, but even Cinderella got to go to the ball. So you just have to be patient, and you have to have a plan, and just know that interest rates are still so low that even the market's high, it's still a great time to buy. And the market's not going to come out from under us. Everybody thinks it is. That is not going to happen. We may see an adjustment, but we're also going to see an adjustment on interest rates. So don't sleep on it, because you're not going to be sleeping in it. I'll say that every time I come on the show.
Hey, Jacques, I've taken a poll with all of our realtor partners, and I was at a purchase closing this morning. What a way to start a day, 8 o'clock in the morning. It was a phenomenal closing. Things worked out really well. The buyers and sellers got along, the realtors, the mortgage lender, we all got along really well. It was just really one of those closings the way it's supposed to go down in our business. So I'm going to ask you the following question. Are you seeing more houses come on the market? Are you anticipating more houses come on the market? Or is it going to stay like this for the rest of the summer? What's your opinion, and what are you seeing?
We are seeing inventory creep up a little bit in certain areas. So that's good. Do I anticipate more coming on? Naturally, with the progression, you'll see a few more pop on. Early season was really, really tough. We're starting to see more opportunities out there. My buyers are getting more notifications daily of houses in the market. But the fact still remains historically low inventory. So we always have to be in the mindset of there's going to be more opportunities out there, but if you see one and it hits your email, or if it pops up on your notifications, you have to jump in that car and get there and see that house, because 24 hours can do a lot of change in this market.
Yeah, Lisa Lawson, going to you. We are working extremely hard. All of the mortgage bankers that I know of, everybody here, Capital Mortgage Funding, powered by Fairway Independent Mortgage Corporation, working extremely hard, long hours. The realtors are working hard. The appraisers are out there. The title companies are all booked up. Lisa Lawson, you're putting in a lot of hours and a lot of pre-approvals, right?
Yes, ridiculous. I'd turn my phone around and show you the stack in front of me of all the pre-approvals that I have to finish today for documents I got over the holiday weekend. So, and not everybody was just barbecuing and working on their yard. Apparently, a lot of people got documents together and got them over. So we're going to knock these approvals out. But yes, it is definitely a busy season. And we are working, hard to stay on top of all of it, because we don't want anybody to miss out on an opportunity to get the house that they want, and become a homeowner. But it is a little bit more competitive than normal. And even though we're all working really hard and, burning the midnight oil to get this done, you are going to be a little bit more patient in general, because once you find the right house, your first offer might not be accepted. You might have to make multiple offers, so you still have to have a little bit of patience while you're working in this market, but we're all here for you.
Yeah, John Cole, we've experienced yesterday after the long holiday weekend, and you come in and it feels like you never had that weekend. Tuesday, you come back and flurry of activity, and it's about speed to respond, isn't it, John? I know that you were here late yesterday. We had a flurry of purchase inquiries. Speed to respond, my man, right? Tell me what you got going.
Well, yeah, I mean, it's always tough after a holiday weekend, right? There's nothing worse than either trying to get a purchase closed right before a holiday weekend or the day after you get back. And you know what? We just got to do what we do and push as hard as we can. But in the end, everybody's got to work together. But yeah, we've got a lot of purchase activity, a lot of purchase closings going on right now, both in state and out of state. You know, we are licensed across the nation. We do enjoy seeing those out of state purchases happening. You know, like I said, a little bit of push, a little bit of pressure, but you know, we revel in the pressure.
Yeah, Harvey Freed, prices of homes are way up, about 13% from the April statistics and April sales. Obviously, May stats aren't in yet, so we're quoting the April, but they're all up 13%. But loan application, purchase application, pending sales are down, Harvey. Why? Is it just a lack of inventory, or what's going on, do you think?
Lack of inventory here. Yeah, it's catching up. It's going to be around for another 12 months for sure. There's no magical wand that's going to build 1,800 square foot ranches. And of course, toppled with the builders, they're up against the shortage of the shortage of materials, including the prices, lumber through the roof, but just not even the lumber now. They're back to getting the tradesmen because there's so much activity out there. Everybody wanting to get their pool retiled and re-glazed. And with all the trades out there really backed up, it's just going to take a lot more money out of your pocket, whether you're buying a house or fixing up a house here. And we're seeing the results of that inventory, that lack of inventory. That's for sure.
Yeah, hey, Jacques, everybody should get along in a transaction, right? If everybody's experienced and, you know, people find the house, it should be a nice time. And I was at a closing this morning where, as it turns out, you know, everybody was kind of related in the transaction. I don't mean familiar and family relations. I mean, the realtors have been in the business for 30 plus years. The mortgage lender, Harry Glanz, Capital Mortgage Funding, been in the business over 30 years. It was just the buyers and sellers were a joy to work with. And when you go to a closing and it turns out like that, it's just it's the panacea that you're looking for, right? It's just the dream transaction. You're working hard. You're working harder probably than you've ever worked because of the lack of inventory. Why shouldn't all transactions end in happy closings, Jacques?
Well, the mindset of some agents out there is more of a lawyer or an attorney mindset. So I say, and Keller Williams says that, and no matter what brokerage there is, you know, a win-win or no deal philosophy is the best philosophy to have. But some people think that they're on Law and Order and they want to negotiate everything and fight for everything right now. And the reality is the system is so pressured. The supply chain of everything, real estate agents, closers, lumber, everything is so pressured that we don't have the capacity to carry people's egos right now. The idea of a fiduciary is not always prevalent when negotiations are happening. And that's why choosing your agent, the right one, is the biggest thing right now, because this is a win-win deal. Everybody's got to walk away happy at the end. This is not you don't win a trophy if you negotiate harder. Everybody's got to be happy. That's really the outcome of this.
Yeah, it doesn't need to be combative. You don't need somebody calling you every day, what's going on, what's going on. I made a comment to the realtors that I was with. I said, you know, you guys are really a pro's pro. I mean, you're a professional. You weren't calling every single day. You respect the fact that we've been doing this a long time. We respect the fact that you've been doing this a long time. We also respect the fact that the market is very crazy right now, and there is no need for nonsensical phone calls, text, emails, especially at this point in time. John Kolb, you work with some of the best realtors around, and they're extremely busy right now, and they're letting you do your thing, right? You're just doing your thing like you do it every single day, and you're not really running into any combative transactions right now, are you?
No. I mean, don't get me wrong. I love working with new agents that, so you get to know somebody, they learn how you do your business, you learn how they do theirs. But there's just sometimes that you just love working with the team that you're so used to. We had a situation where I was part of a text chain between two realtors, and they were battling back and forth over the text. And I stepped in and just said, if this is how this transaction is going to continue, take me off of this text chain, because I don't want to be part of this. I'm working with the buyer. I'm helping out the seller, trying to get everything done the right way in an open, friendly manner. I don't need to be part of a text chain battling back and forth, accusing and threatening. And like Jacques said, you just have to have the mindset that we're all in this together to get it done the right way. And I always try to start as soon as I get a purchase agreement, reach out and say, I'm looking forward to a successful transaction with everybody, including the title companies. Because at the end of the day, when we're all done with our docs, sellers want their numbers, buyers want their numbers. It's on the title companies, and we need to be working with them as well to make sure that they know what our points of interest and our timelines, so that they can make sure that everybody is happy and healthy and getting this done the right way. And it's just an important mindset. Mental awareness, mental health is such an important thing out there. And this is part of that. Just let's make a transaction smoother, better, and so that everybody's happy and eager to move on to the next one together.
Yeah, Lisa Lawson, you are always transparent. You are always very communicative, and your explanations and your advice to people and your clients, and you always have the best interest of your client at heart. But sometimes I must say, especially now, coming out of COVID, I thought people would be a little bit easier to work with, appreciate things more. But, it turns out, and we'll get into this next with Mr. Freed, but everything's a rush right now. But Lisa, you are the queen of making sure everything's transparent and the communication is very, very smooth. What are some of your tricks?
Yeah, I mean, I'm sure everybody uses the same trick. So if I have a conversation with the borrower, I usually try to follow up with an email so we're all on the same page. Same with the agent, same with the title company. This is the one thing we're waiting for. As soon as we get this,
you right after this podcast. Is this your cell phone or your office line?
We're always trying to make sure that everybody is on the same page and communicating what the expectations are and how we're going to move forward. So once we get XYZ, then I'm going to submit to underwriting for the first review. We're always trying to make sure that we all understand what's happening, whether it's a conversation. And then I said, we often follow up with email, I text, we want to make sure that everybody's, working towards the same goal. Sometimes I follow up like, hey, I didn't get that document from you today. I'll text them in the evening when I get home. Should I be looking for that in the morning? You don't have to be mean about it. Some people have been like, hey, I didn't get it from you. So what are you, but we always want to.
Hello?
Lisa, you hit your mute button.
Lisa, you hit
your mute button, Lisa. Take yourself off. There you go. Well, all right. Well, segueing right into Mr. Harvey Freed. Harvey, why is everything on a rush situation right now? And I'm going to back it up with Jacques too, but I want to know from you, Harvey, first. So there's a lack of inventory. There's a lack of inventory, right? But everything is a rush. Everybody wants a rush appraisal. Everybody wants a rush closing. Everybody's in a hurry. Everybody wants a rush. Where is everybody going on a rush? They're not going anywhere because they're staying in the house.
I laughed when you wrote that this morning, Harry. I laughed when I just reading it out loud, but there's a couple items in there that really, they are very time sensitive. The one item is because of all the overbidding, and Jacques, you'll go ahead and piggyback on this. Because of the overbidding, the difference between what that appraisal will come in at and what the buyers are going to have to come out of pocket for in the appraisal guarantees, sometimes we need that information sooner than later. So that part of the transaction has become a little bit more time sensitive. On the other hand, after the appraisal, right, most families are giving themselves, sellers and buyers, 60 days to vacate the property. I don't have the answer on where you're going that fast. But there are a few, Harry, let me just by saying that, there are a few pieces of the puzzle that are extremely time sensitive, just because that determines if they are going to have a deal, and then what will the sellers be able to move forward with whatever they've got planned.
Jacques, how do you feel about that? Everybody in a rush and a hurry? Because what I'm seeing right now, Jacques, and actually it worked in a little bit in reverse of the time frame. Normally, we've been seeing 60-day occupancy and free occupancy. Today, I had one, you ready? 30-day occupancy, no charge. Anything after 30 days, there was a charge.
Yeah.
So that's kind of unusual. People are really asking for more than 30-day occupancy, aren't they? But where so that underscores my thought process. Why is everything on a rush?
So there's a few different reasons why they're rushed. The first thing, the back off of Harvey's comment, is the appraisal guarantee. Everybody's worried that the house is not going to appraise. So they want to rush the appraisal to see what's going to happen after. They want to see if they're going to get the appraisal that they need to cover the difference. After that's all bought down, a lot of agents are still scared because of COVID. Last year and a half, whatever we saw people's pay change. We saw all these different factors change. And then when pay changes, as you guys know, as a lender, things change with your loan. The 60-day occupancy thing, I've done a few of them, 30 days free, additional 30 days if needed. There will be a charge for it because some of the sellers have to close on the sale first before they can buy the next one. And it's not like they can just close and run to another house and see it. There is a huge bottleneck of inventory. Again, we'll talk about this all the time, like we have been since the beginning of COVID. I've been on the show with you guys. And the last thing is agents that don't have experience dealing in times of strain. So COVID strain, inventory strain, job, finance strain. They have no patience, and they don't have patience, or they don't have confidence in the system itself because they haven't treaded these waters long enough to know. And that's why I see a lot of agents when I'm working with newer agents, because I do a lot more listings than buyers right now, thankfully, that the newer agents are a little more stressed out. So they're pressuring. And in this opposite, when you pressure the system right now, the pressure doesn't do anything. You're not going to make a diamond at the end. No pressure, no diamonds doesn't do anything in this transaction, in this current market. You got to be patient. You have to make sure, because even if you press, and the lender does their job, the title companies are understaffed right now. They can't get you on for a week on the books. So it's a very, very stressful time, and there's no need to rush to get to the 10-yard line and not have enough staff to get us to the finish line. The kicker can't come out and do the extra point because there's no kicker there yet. And that's kind of an analogy that I'm using because it's true. We have a system flaw with the staffing, and that's all there is to it. You're going to see this in every industry. People are paying more than they ever had. McDonald's is giving away thousands of dollars on signing bonuses. It's everywhere because there's just a different mindset right now that there was a year and a half ago about working. So that's some of the things I'm seeing personally in my market. I think it's a kind of a universal carry across the Metro Detroit area and probably the nation.
Don't you think too that? I was gonna say.
Go ahead. I just want to ask one question, Lisa. You go ahead, and then I'll ask my question after.
I was gonna say, I sometimes feel too like I just got a purchase agreement last month, and it was literally, and I was just looking at my calendar. It was almost 3 weeks. I literally had 2 weeks and 4 business days from the time I was able to originate. It was the next day after the page when we were supposed to be clear to close, so they could get their numbers with that 2-day window. How is you're setting everyone up to be disappointed in that type of transaction, because appraisals can sometimes take 2 weeks to come back. We say a week and a half or so, but there's always extenuating circumstances. And in this case, it needed a reinspection. So there's no way that we're getting a reinspection, an appraisal, and everything back and through underwriting and all the underwriting conditions cleared and title ready in 2 weeks and 4 days. So I don't understand. And this was not like a PA that sat for a long time. It wasn't somebody that took a long time to get an inspection done. This was how was it written, because it was quote unquote an incentive. Yeah. I don't understand, I guess, or help us understand what the point is, because you're just setting up for disappointment. I've got a borrower that needed
promise. That's what I call false. So I'm in the multi-offer situations. Inexperienced listed agent will say, well, your offer is maybe the best, but the highest has a 21-day close. And I said, I guarantee you, unless it's a cash transaction and no appraisal, you're not closing in 21 days. You're not. I'm going to tell you this right now. I've done a ton of business in this COVID economy. I know exactly what's going to take. It's going to be about 28 to 32 days. So I can lie to you and say, hey, but I'm not you want me to do an extension, or do you want us to know this is the honest truth? So agents that don't understand the concept of being bogged down the system right now with all these transactions and lack of capacity at the very end are running these short timetables, and then they put the pressure on the lender, they put the pressure on the appraiser, and then the title company's pulling their hair out, and the seasoned lender will even call me and say, hey, my agent, I don't know why they did that, but so it's a negotiation tactic that doesn't have any merit, and honestly it's not right.
It's like it just stresses everybody out.
It makes
I'm
you
going to go
look
like this with you guys. I'm going to tell you it like it is. Yesterday, I had a client call me, and this is for a 7-figure purchase with a 7-figure loan amount. And he asked me point blank. He says, can I get this done in under 30 days? Now, I could have lied to him because I want the transaction, but I've been around too long. I've tried to set people up for success up front, and we as a company do the same thing, everybody here. I said to him flat out, no. I said, anybody who tells you they could get it done within 30 days, with the way the industry is being pushed and pulled and appraisers, and Jacques, this leads me to my next question I want to ask you. Appraisals are my favorite subjects, property values, and with all the appraisal guarantees on there, you got to know that if you're writing an offer over the listed price, the appraisal right now, 7 times out of 10 is going to come back under what the final purchase price is. So who's making this up to people? Who's setting these people up for failure? My position on this is disclose it up front. Yeah, you want to write an offer, we'll accept an offer, but understand there could be an appraisal issue. Understand, most likely there will be an appraisal issue.
99% of the time there is going to be an appraisal issue.
So right where is everybody rushing to go to? Okay, listen, I like taking things step by step. I want it done in order. I like an order to a transaction. Okay. I was going to go to Harvey and John next, but I don't see them on our podcast. So Lisa, how many of your transactions are coming in when they are way over the market? Where do you see the appraisal situation going?
It's all different. I've got some of them that come in and have built-in appraisal guarantees already written in. And I think I discussed this a few weeks back. I got one that, had I think it was 41,000 over appraised value guarantee. So sometimes when they come in and we already know that, we've already sourced those funds, that's not such a big deal. It just means that person's going to be bringing money. Other times they come in with smaller guarantees, $3,000, $5,000, and the appraisal will come in 10 short. So now you're looking at renegotiating, and it's kind of all over the place. So it doesn't, I'm trying to think of the last one I have that actually came in. Oh, I got one yesterday that actually came in at the value of the sales price, but it's been a minute. Most of them are usually a little short at the moment.
Yeah, Harvey, what's your experience with the appraisal situations right now?
Well,
are we
you guys,
setting up our here? Let me finish my thought.
I'm working on one here that just came in here.
He doesn't hear properly, everybody. Harvey, so where are you looking at right now on the appraisal guarantee and the appraisals coming in? What percentage of your transactions are coming in under?
Very few of them are, Harry, but of course, the ones that are just completely being overbid. I've got a 560 appraisal on a 590 purchase. Been working on it all morning. It just came in. They were expecting it. They all knew they were overbid. But the buyers, again, they weren't prepared. I've been talking to them for 2 months, but sure enough, for some reason, he just decided to pay his federal tax returns, Jacques, and $25,000 left his account. And now we have to liquidate an Ameritrade account. And, families really look, I'm going to say this on this podcast. You don't know what you don't know until you don't know. And you need to get a professional mortgage person in your life quickly if you're buying a house, especially if you're not selling your other home and you're overbidding in today's frantic market. You need more professionals in it. I'm getting the calls from other agents. Their stories are even worse, Harry, because the lenders aren't really communicating with the people. They're going online and they're not even talking to families. They have approval letters, Harry. They haven't even submitted documentation. So a lot of buyers out there are jamming up the system because they're online trying to get a mortgage. They think social media has convinced them that these brand new brokers and these brand new places that you've either heard of or you've never heard of are the answer to them having a successful mortgage and closing on their purchase, and it's just not true.
Excellent. Going into our last segment, and Jacques, we'll give you the first word in the last segment of the day. We're looking at an extremely busy summer. We're looking at a lack of inventory facing us now on June 2nd. We're looking at more buyers than sellers out there. The however is we're seeing a decline in applications because of the lack of inventory. We're seeing the prices of homes, law of supply and demand. Home prices are up 13% as of the end of April. Rates are not going to stay this low forever. It's just not going to happen. What do you see for the remainder of the year and going into 2022?
So I see a slowdown actually in the transactions, because even, with my team, and we do a lot of business between my small team, but a lot of the other agents that I work with are seeing it as well. They're just a slowdown a little bit. Not as many people are actively pursuing homes as they were right when we launched out of COVID because of the inventory situation. Now we might see a reintroduction of some of these buyers once they say, oh, wow, okay, maybe it's calmed down. But the idea of paying $20,000 out of pocket for an appraisal guarantee when you didn't have to do that 2 years ago is not fathomable for everybody. Not everybody has that extra cash, and you're going to have it. And that's pre-qualifying your buyers to know we're not talking down payment anymore. We're talking appraisal guarantees now too. And that money has to be sourced. I'm not going to let my buyer try to figure it out after with gift funds. You have to be pre-sourced with me if you're going to buy with an appraisal guarantee, because there's no point to do that to a seller and to have the fallout happen. So I see hopefully a step up a little bit in certain markets. My market here in Shelby Township, Northern Macomb, we have a lot of houses being built, but you're not seeing the spec houses being built as much anymore. You're seeing a lot more custom jobs because of the cost of lumber and things. If I was a builder, I wouldn't just be building boxes waiting for people to step in. I'd have it sold beforehand. So it's going to be unique, but it's always going to flourish and everybody's going to be okay. You just have to communicate with a professional early on. If you're thinking about buying in 2022, you better start talking about it now. Don't call today to buy tomorrow. You have to have your ducks in a row and everything's got to be tight. If you're thinking about selling in 6 months, talk to somebody today. It's all about being prepared and to be able to weather the storm and the ride, because it's a fun ride. But if you don't have your seatbelt on, you're going to fall out of the boat.
Excellent. I like that, Jacques. Beautiful. Lisa.
Yeah, being prepared is so important. And I don't think you can ever be prepared too early. Like he said, if you think you're selling in 6 months, call the agent you think you want to work with. Start speaking to a few. You'll click with somebody and say, look, I don't want to do this now. I want to do this in September, October. Can we do a walk through my house? Let me know what I should do. What's going to add value? What do I need to fix? Then you have 6 months of time to do that. You don't feel so pressured. I need to get on the market tomorrow and I didn't get this done. Same thing with buying. If you're thinking about buying and you're not sure where your credit stands or how much money you're going to need, because you keep hearing about all these appraisal guarantees or people overbidding, talk to a lender now. So the lender can say, look, you've only got $4,000 saved. That isn't probably going to be enough in this market. We're either going to have to get you some assistance or gifts. Let's figure out who can do that for you. Can you take out from your 401k? Let's figure this out now. So you're going to be fully prepared and know where all this is going to come from. So when you close, there's no surprises and that you'll be able to close and it'll make a smooth transaction. So I don't think you can ever be too prepared. So that's my takeaway right now.
Excellent. Harvey, your last word for the day is?
My last word is just continued summer is a lot of what we're finding is a lot of inexperienced agents having a little bit more trouble getting their clients approved, getting their clients offer accepted. So you get hooked up with the Gagnon team, these people that have been around for a long time, a history of real estate and knowledge. The buyers don't know what they don't know here, and neither do the sellers. So it's really incumbent upon them to learn what they're doing. And it's really simple to see. The ones that do know and are getting the experienced agents are still doing their inspections, are doing their due diligence. And the families that aren't, they're having trouble. We're getting the phone calls. I've gotten a couple phone calls where they bought and they're having trouble with the house and inspections weren't done. It appears that well and septics weren't done on conventional loans, and they don't even know why they got a conventional loan over FHA. They're finding out the hard way. So again, you don't know what you don't know. Find out. This is still tricky business. Mortgages, real estate, a lot of knowledge that you can get underneath your belt just to have a little bit more success.
Yeah, every week, everybody, we try to bring you the best and most knowledgeable agents in our area. We try to bring you the most updated information and informational sources. We try to have our pulse on the market and what's going on. And right now, we are seeing in the South, in the East, and in the West, we're seeing a little bit of a lull now because most of the people that were in the market have found something or they're going to wait. But here in the Midwest where we are, it's still very, very strong. As a matter of fact, the chief economist for the National Association of Realtors said that the Midwest region that has the most affordable homes was the only region to gain sales in the last month. So with all of that knowledge, we want to make sure that everybody here, Capital Mortgage Funding brought to you by Fairway Independent Mortgage Corporation, Equal Housing Lender, NMLS number 2289. We prepare everybody for success. And we look forward to working with everybody out there. Our podcast, our radio show, it's a consumer advocacy situation for us where we want to spread the knowledge. Hey, listen, even if you're another lender, we want you to be successful because a rising tide lifts all boats. And I want to thank Jacques. Jacques, who's your special guest with you?
This is my firstborn daughter, Gianna. She has a little, since I've been on the show, I've had another daughter, AKA Expense, Eva. So she's 6 months. So it's been fun. I've been very busy because I don't have a choice.
Well, I'll bet you she's a great big sister.
Oh, she is. She definitely is. She's been staring the whole time at me watching this. So she's been pretty good.
Well, she looks good, and it's a joy to see you with your daughter on your lap during our podcast. And we welcome everybody in all the time. If you have any calls or discussion points, give us a call, 1-800-LOW-RATE. Ask for me, Harry Glanz, or email me at hglanz@lowrateonline.com. You can see all of our staff here. We're here every single day. Yes, that includes Saturdays and Sundays, right, Lisa Lawson?
Yes, it does.
Yeah, it's crazy out there. And Jacques will be our guest on our show, hosted by Harvey Freed, 97.1 FM, from 9 to 10 this week on Saturday. So tune in for that. For Jacques Gagnon, John Kolb, who left us. Apparently Harvey Freed took off. Lisa Lawson is just you and I. And our producer, director in the booth, Roberto Beauchesne. Hi, Roberto. What's happening there? Thank you for the show. We appreciate you, everybody. Until next time, we say so long.
All right. See everybody Saturday.
See ya.
Thank you. Have a good one, guys.
Thank you, guys. I'll see you later.
Yes.